Hello everyone. So today we'll be talking about JavaScript events. So this is an introduction to events. Events are things that happen in the system you are programming, which the system tells you about, so your code can react to them. So let's understand this. I am clicking here in this page. So this is not automatically selecting all the text. This has been already been this has been programmed by the browser or the system. I'm not, I think the system, the Windows, let's say it is already been programmed by the Windows to select whenever I double click on this or elsewhere. So basically events are things that happen in the system, like scrolling is an event, clicking is an event, right clicking is another event. So events are things that happen in the system or in your application, which the system tells you about, so your code can react to them. Let's say I have this by world text and I want to target them. So let's go ahead and see what the HTML looks like. I forgot actually. Okay, so let's do const paragraph document dot get elements by class name, and let's target by shown you guys this previously, how to target this paragraph by class name. Let's log and see what's there. So it has HTML collection of 3 as expected. So let's go and target the first one. So let's say paragraph, and this is how we target the first one. Dot inner HTML, let's say hello. Okay, so the HTML has now changed. Although this has nothing to do with let's say events, but I'm just showing you guys how to target this. So I have targeted this first HTML by using document.getElements by class name, which is targeting all 3 of these h1s here, and then we are selecting the first one like this. So let's add event listener here using add event listener. Let's say we need to define a function first. What will our code do when the event happens or the click happens, let's say. So let's do just a console log. We don't need to return anything yet. Let's log clicked, and our function will not take anything. And let's name this handle click. Okay, so what we're doing here, button dot add event listener click. Let's copy the whole thing and I will explain it to you guys what is happening. Let's assign the first paragraph to a variable as well. Let's say clicking h1, let's say, not clicking button. This is not a button, this is h1. So we are doing now, we are assigning this add event listener function, which will listen for event. And now we have to pass in arguments. The first argument will be what type of event we are listening for. So click is defined here, so we are listening for click, and then we'll just execute this function. So they have already passed in a function, anonymous function, as I've shown you guys previously. So we already have created this function, so we don't need that. We'll just pass this one. We can pass in function like this, define a function, and then just put it in as callback function. That's why I wanted to show you guys what callback functions are before we could do this. So let's go ahead and click here. So as you can see, whenever I'm clicking on this, I'm getting returned clicked. So if I click elsewhere, like here, okay, so this part we can inspect it. Control Shift C, and this whole part is the H1. And even if I click right here, it will say clicked, but if I click here, it won't say anything because I have not assigned any event listener to them. So only to which you have assigned an event listener will be listening for an event and then execute your function accordingly, which is called a callback function. We can do, let's say, we say let clicked, let's assign this variable, and let's do clicked plus clicked plus times, and whenever we get clicked, we wanna do click plus plus. Let's take a count of how many times we have clicked. Okay, so it is starting from 0 because I have incremented after I have logged it. So let's put this line above. So now what will happen, it will increment it first and then show us how many times it was clicked. So this variable is storing 0, and if I do this like before, when I click, it returns clicked 0 times. Why does it return clicked 0 times? Because the variable is still 0, so it essentially just prints out this variable right here. So it's saying clicked plus 0 plus times, so 0 times, and then incrementing it by 1. Let's log it. Okay, let's log it down below actually, right after it got incremented. So let's log clicked. Okay, so clicked 0 times, but the variable is having the value of 1 now because it got incremented and then we logged it. So JavaScript will parse your code line by line. So this function will be run line by line. So first things first, this console log. So console log, when we are console logging this, the value is still 0, and then we are incrementing it by 1. As I've shown you guys, it is essentially the same as click plus 1. So we are doing the same thing here, but just we are using the shorthand. We can use clicked equal to click plus 1, or we can do clicked plus equal to 1. It will do the exact same thing, but we can do click plus plus as well if we want to increment it by 1, or minus minus if we want to decrement it by 1. As you can see, click minus 1 times. That's not true because we have clicked a few times now. So this is all event listener does. So it essentially listens for any event onto your DOM elements. So let's say it is not a button, but let's create a button now to visualize things better. Let's say button, and let's say increment, and let's give it an ID of increment, and let's target it right here. So how do we target? We target it increment button. So variable naming is very crucial actually. So I want you guys to name your variables not like this, like we could have just said I and then do the same thing, but I want you guys to name your variables properly, because in your code, readability is a really big factor. Let's say when we work in a team, if we just say I and it is a huge code base, then the next developer will spend much time finding out what the I does or what is I. So let's avoid confusion and name our variables properly like this. Like let's say increment button, and let's target that document dot get elements by ID, because we're targeting the ID this time. So let's target increment, and then add an event listener just like this. So I'll just copy paste this and then mention the increment button first. So add event listener, and let's add another function that says, let's just create functions like this. Handle increment. Not sure if that's the best name out there, but that will work for now, I think. Also, let's create a variable. Let counter. Let's assign it to counter and set it to 0. So what will our increment button do? What do you think? So what we want our increment button to do is increment the counter. Let's comment these out. Okay, so let's create another one like decrement as well. Decrement, and let's just say h1 and then say id of counter, and this will be empty. Okay, let's keep this empty, and let's create another one. Let's target the decrement counter as well. We can just copy paste, but I suggest you guys to write it yourself so you get some practice. Let's do decrement and counter 0, handle increment. Let's create another one, handle decrement as well. Decrement. So for handle increment, we'll do counter plus plus, and for decrement, we'll do counter minus minus. We want to just increase and decrease it by 0, let's say. So let's add decrement button dot add event listener dot click, and let's assign the respective functions to them. Oh, not like this, just the name. So this is a callback function as we've seen in our last video, and let's do let's target the counter as well, right? Let's do counter counter HTML, let's say. I can't access the counter in the name of counter because I have already done that. Get element by ID, and let's do counter, and let's say, let me scroll it down a bit and zoom in a bit as well, I think. Okay, so let's do counter.html dot inner text equal to counter. Okay, so as you can see, we have 0 here, but I have not passed any value here. How did it get there? Of course, we are targeting that element by ID. It has the ID of counter. We're saying document.get element by ID, and then targeting the counter in counter HTML. And then we're running a method counter HTML.inner text equal to counter, which is this variable. And now we have two buttons to increment and increment. Okay, my bad. That's why you do not copy paste. Okay, increment and decrement. Make sure I did not copy paste functions as well. Increment button, decrement button, ID, increment, decrement, handle increment, handle decrement. Okay, it should work now. Okay, it is not working. Great. Seems really great. Let's see what's wrong. Okay. Interesting. It is not working. Let me see what's going on. So counter increment button dot add event listener click handle increment counter plus plus. That should have worked, I think. Why is it not working? I'm a bit confused now. Let me log out if I am targeting everything currently properly. I mean, increment button. Okay, I have that one right. Let's do decrement button. I have this one right as well. This one is of course right. Okay, so what's wrong? Counter plus plus, counter minus minus. Let's log the counter. Okay, why is it still 0 and 0? Okay. Counter.text equal to counter plus plus is not actually updating for some reason, and I need to figure out why. Oh, my bad. We're doing almost everything right, I suppose. Let's assign it to var. Should it work? No, it shouldn't. Okay, let is fine as well. Let's log the counter here and see if it is incrementing. Okay, it is actually incrementing. Interesting. I think it is. We need to do it like this, maybe. Oh yeah. Okay, so I think I get it now. So essentially, what was happening as the JavaScript was reading line by line, it was saying, okay, counter is 0, and then incrementing inside, and then running the code once again, and then saying 0, and then setting the inner HTML to 0 once again. Now it is working fine. As you can see, increment, decrement, both are working just fine. What if I wanted to increase it by 2? We could do like this. Counter plus equal to 2, counter minus equal to 2, and as you can see, it is incrementing by 2, of course. So not only this, we can change the style of an element by using these functions. Let's do counter html dot style dot, and then we have all of the things we want in our css. Let's say what I want to do. I want to do, okay, not this, but I want to do something else. I want to make it in the same line, increment 4 and decrement, all of them in the same line. So we must target this parent div. Let's give it a name and give it a class of let's do flexbox, because I am going to make it flex. So let's target flexbox. Document dot get elements element by id, and then target flexbox, and let's do flexbox dot style dot display equal to flex. Okay, it is not working once again. Great. Cannot read properties of null, reading style at 0. Okay. Let's see if I'm targeting it properly. Xbox. Okay, I'm not targeting it properly. Document dot, oh, I have given it a class instead of an ID. Okay, that was totally my bad. Okay, let's do this. And as you can see, on click we got this as flex, and let's say when we do the decrement, we want it to go back as it was block, I think. I'm not sure. Okay. Oh yeah, as you can see, on increment we are setting it to flex, and on decrement we are setting it to block as it was before. So it is handling event, whatever event we throw at it, it will handle it just fine. Let's give it some space here. Let's do flexbox dot style dot gap, and let's say 10 pixels. So when I increment now, it will be display flex, and there will be a gap. And as you can see, we have some gap here. And let's add some margin as well. Not margin, let's say padding dot padding. Let's do 10 pixels as well. Okay, so as you can see, we have some padding right here. We have some spacing, but if we do decrement, okay, we still have the padding. Let's delete the padding as we don't want that. Okay, we shouldn't have done it like this. Instead, we can do, let's do 0 pixels maybe. This works, but we can remove style as well. I forgot what it's used to remove. Let's do what JavaScript style padding remove. I don't know. That was really bad search actually. But okay, got it. I think append child, no. Class list dot add. Okay, so we can add class list as well, but I don't want that actually. Let's just search it ourselves. Let's do flexbox dot style dot, okay, padding 0 will work for now as well. Let's not stress about it. But yeah, as you can see, it is working fine. So it is just the click event. So I think click event is the most common one. We have scroll event as well. We have other events as well. Let's see what we have here. On click, no, I don't want to one on click. What else you got? Bubbling. Okay, so event bubbling and capturing is a bit advanced for now. I will talk about it in future. So let's not talk about that right away. Test your skills. Okay, we have reached the end of the article, but we have not read it fully. But let's go for test. Hopefully I will fail. Okay, so in our first event related task, you need to create a simple event handler that causes the text inside the button to change when it's clicked on and change back when it is clicked again. The HTML should not be changed as the JavaScript. Okay. It is actually interesting. There are a few ways to do it. Let's say cons button, why it is giving me an error, I'm not sure, but let's go for button dot add event listener or listeners. It's listener actually. Let's go for click and then pass in our function. I'll just do an arrow function like this, and let's say button dot not enter in our text. Let's just copy it from here. In our text will be machine is on. Okay, so machine is now on. Okay, so now what we want is so we have to toggle it. We can actually do an if statement. Let's do if So if button dot inner text equal to machine is off, I wanna set the inner text to be machine is on, else let's set button dot array, I mean not uh, not again machine is off. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't work, of course. So we have this function. This got a bit messed up. That's why I wanted to create a separate function altogether. Let's do that actually. Function change button name. Let's do this. No auto completion, of course. So let's remove this function part right here. If button dot inner text is machine is off, we wanna set button dot inner text equal to machine is on, else button dot inner text machine is off. Let's pass in the function here and let's see what's wrong. Unexpected token. Which one is unexpected, bro? This is ending right here and this is ending right here, and we have another one here. Should have worked actually. I'm not sure why it is not working. Let's just do a bit of cheating. Okay, so oh yeah, there were an extra variables. Okay. If button dot inner text, oh sorry, it should be, I should have checked for machine is on, because the at first time the machine is actually on, so we wanted to set it to off, and then we wanna do machine is on. Okay, of course it doesn't work because I have checking it for this and else. It is pretty easy problem actually, but somehow I am making it a bit harder myself and for you as well. Also, it hurts to see my eyes here or with all the red lines. Let's just add here, and let's not ever go back to MDN, to code at least. Not a good place. So let's add a button of class with class of. Let's comment these out and add button class of machine is on. Should have off actually, or on, I don't know. Let's reset. Our machine is off at first. Okay, so now what we're checking here is if button dot inner text is okay. We do not check it like this, my bad. I should have used double equal. Oh, that was the issue, I think. Oh yeah, my bad. So whenever we are checking for a condition, we do double equal, or if we're doing a strict check, we do triple equal. So my bad. Oh yeah, it is working fine now. So we have passed the test, but I'm not sure if I've passed it fairly. Okay, it's not working once again. Great. My god. Let's not go back to MDN ever again, as I've mentioned previously, because it is working fine here. I'm not sure what's wrong there. I can't even figure it out because this just hurts my eyes. Let's ignore that one and let's do this. Now we'll look at keyboard events. Oh yeah, that's great. Let's do keyboard events, of course. To pass this assignment, you need to build an event handler that moves the circle around that provided canvas when the WASD keys are pressed on the keyboard. The circle is drawn with the function drawCircle, which takes the following parameters as input. So x, the coordinate of the circle, y coordinate of the circle, size, radius of the circle. Okay. This seems like a great problem, but I think it's a bit too much for me right now. Let's go for the next one. Okay, in the next event related task, you need to set an event listener on the button parent element, which when invoked by clicking any of the buttons will set the background color of the button bar to the color contained in the button's data color attribute. I'm pretty sure I can solve them, but I'm not up for it right away. Right now. I will be doing it later on, I suppose. But yeah, let's just turn on and off the machine and really try to understand events. So let's have a bit of read and then preventing default behavior. Okay, there are some default behavior we wanna stop. Like let's say when we submit a form, the page will automatically be reloaded. So to stop that, we need to do this e.prevent default. What is e, you might think? I have not yet talked about event. So whenever there is an event, let's say I have an event right here on the button click, right? I have an event right here. So I can access the event as a parameter automatically. So each and every event listeners have an event argument passed automatically. Let's log the event and see what do we have here. So we have, okay, so we have a lot of methods. Like it tells you is trusted. I don't know what the what this does. I am of course trusted, thank you. So alt key false. Why is it saying alt key false? Because I was not pressing the alt key on my keyboard. Like let's say I'm pressing the alt key right now, and when I clicked on this, as you can see, alt key is now true because I was pressing down the alt key in your keyboard. So it can be known from this event as well. So there's a lot of things we can know from events, like alt key was false, bubbles, I've talked about this. Let's not talk about bubbles and capture, we'll talk about these later. So client X, client Y, what are these? So client X is the horizontal screen of our the horizontal part of our screen, and client Y was the vertical part of our screen. So I was essentially client X52. So I was 52 at this point where I clicked, and I was 12 from above where I have clicked. So if I put the button here, I will see a much larger number, but I don't want to do that. Let's focus on the next one. So we have control key false. Let's do that as well. Let's press the control key and then click, and we get control key true. Okay, so is primary false from element. There's a lot of things: offset X, page X, pointer ID, screen X, screen Y. These are not that commonly used, but we do use them from time to time. Let's say shift key. So if I press down shift and then click, this would become true. as you might have understood this by now. We also have a target. So normally what we do is we want to check the inner text or anything. We do event dot target dot value. So there's a value property. Let's go to value. It is, I think, one of the most common ones which are used. As you can see, the value is empty because I have not put anything. Okay, why is it empty? I'm not sure actually. Let's see event dot target dot value. So it should have something, right? Okay, it has nothing. Hmm. Mm, hmm. So we do usually access the values like this. Let's say I want to, let's see if we can access the value of h1 of this counter. We have already targeted the counter right here. Let's, okay, that's not an event actually, my bad. Okay, so we can access event dot target dot value like that, but for some reason it is not showing up right now. I'm not sure why. I will try to explain it in the next video, but for now let's just see. Event dot target is this whole button, and usually the value is okay. I think it is because I am pushing it through JavaScript. I'm not sure. Let's uh, so if we push a value through JavaScript, it is usually uh, not accessible sometimes. There are some hosting and other stuff involved. I will talk about these in the future videos. Okay, so the bottom line is we can access the value right here. Let's do an input field to see that. Let's do input. Okay, it is not HTML, my bad. Input, and let's do class of, let's say I want to enter my name here. Let's get name, my name, document dot get element by id, and let's do name. Okay, I have set class here. Okay, so let's log my name. Okay, not like this, my bad. So it will just return the HTML element, my bad. So we're targeting this, and then we do by using frameworks. We sometimes forget this DOM elements. Let's do Google search input failed. Okay, let's see what do they have. Dot value. No, I don't want to set a value actually. Let's say, okay, so they are resetting it every time we do anything. So whatever we type, it will be just assigned the value of Johnny Bravo. That's not what I wanted. JavaScript get input value by, okay, let's see. Dot value like this. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm once again seeing blank stuff. Not sure how this works. How do we take input, by the way? Let's see. Input event listener. Oh, we have okay, let's just do this and we should be able to do it. My name dot add event listener, and let's run this function of log event dot target dot value. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is working now. Okay. So we have an event of input as well. I actually forgot about it, of course. So we have click, scroll, input. So when we add an event listener of input here and then take this function like event and then taking event.target.value. So let's log event at first. So whenever we type in something, we get this whole event once again. And then we have a value, target event.target, and then we access the value. Where's the value? Okay, down below actually. Yes, right here. As you can see, HE. Okay, so what happens if we don't take in event like this? Let's event like that in as an argument or parameter, let's say as an argument actually, not parameter. Handle input, and I will create a function of this name, function handle input, and let's do this log event dot target dot value, and we can access the event right here. So even if we don't take event like this event and then do that, automatically an event is being passed here, which we can access in our function parameter automatically. So whenever there's an, let's say, click, let's do click here, and so we have two event listeners here. So as you can see, as I input, it says hey, and if I click, it says hey once again, because it is now listening for two events. One is input and one is for click. Okay, so before I wrap up today, I want to mention another thing. So whenever we add event listener, an event listener is pretty expensive, let's say, memory wise. So what we want to do is my name dot remove event listener, and then do input dot handle input. So we wanna add a listener, and then we wanna remove the event listener as well. But if we remove it right away, as you can see, we're typing stuff, but we're not getting anything because we have already removed the event listener right away. So let's not remove the event listener for now. So it is more useful in React and stuff where you want to add an event listener. If we want to add an event listener, then we want to remove it as well. Although React does some of the stuff for us, but if we use document.add event listener, document.get elements, and then add event listener, we want to clean up that as well. Okay, so we have talked about event a lot. I will be talking about event in our next video as well, because there's a lot to be learned in JavaScript events. This is just click and let's say input, and we haven't even seen the scroll yet. So okay, thank you very much for watching, and leave a comment down below if you didn't understand anything or you have any questions. I'd be happy to help. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.